What's the time you were blamed for something just because you were the oldest child? I was 13 when I first understood what being the oldest really meant. I was reading in my room when I heard a crash downstairs. Before I even moved, my mom screamed my name. Laura, my 7-year-old sister, had knocked over a glass vase while trying to get a toy behind the cabinet. When I came downstairs, Laura was crying, glass everywhere. Mom demanded to know why I wasn't watching her. I explained I was in my room. She grounded me for a week. That night, Laura whispered to me that she was sorry, that she told Mom it wasn't my fault. Mom's response? Sydney is older. She should be more responsible. 2 years later, Laura got her first phone for her 9th birthday. Mom told me to make sure she used it appropriately. 3 weeks in, Laura racked up $87 in app purchases. I didn't even know her password. Mom said I should have checked what she was doing while placing the bill on my desk. My allowance went toward paying it off for the next 4 months. When I was 16, my brother Trent was born. Mom went back to work when he was 6 months old, and suddenly I became the third parent. Every day after school, I'd pick up Trent from our neighbor Sterling, who watched him for the hour between Mom leaving and me getting home. Mom would text about nap times and medicine schedules. If Trent was cranky the next morning, it was because I supposedly didn't put him down properly. The summer before senior year, Laura, now 12, decided to dye her hair purple without asking. Mom came home from work and immediately called for me. I was applying to colleges in my room. Mom asked if I helped her do this. I tried to explain I had no idea, but she interrupted, insisting I was home all day and should have been setting an example. I lost my weekend plans. Laura got to keep the purple hair. For my 18th birthday, Mom gave me a set of keys. Not to a car, to the house. You're an adult now, she said. These are for when you're babysitting. I started at the state university that fall, commuting from home to save money. One October evening, I had a major exam the next day. Laura, now 13, had a social studies project due. At 11 p.m., she realized she needed poster board. I told her I couldn't help because I needed to study, and she should have checked earlier. Mom came home from her night shift at 2 a.m. and found Laura asleep on the couch, project unfinished. The next morning, Mom questioned why I didn't take Laura for supplies. When I explained about studying, she told me Laura was just a kid and I should know better. I failed my exam. Laura got an extension on her project. By spring semester, I was barely hanging on. My grades slipped. I started staying late at the library just to avoid going home. One night, I came back to find Mom waiting up. She told me Trent had been asking for me at bedtime and wouldn't sleep. When I mentioned group work, she complained that I was changing his routine. I started sleeping at my friend Waverly's apartment twice a week. Mom called it running away from responsibilities. Thanksgiving break, my cousin Stella visited with her 2 kids. Her 4-year-old knocked over a glass of grape juice on Mom's white tablecloth. Before anyone moved, Mom looked at me. She said she had asked me to put the kids' drinks in plastic cups. I hadn't been home when they arrived. I hadn't served the drinks, but I nodded and cleaned it up. After dinner, Selah found me in the kitchen and quietly noted that my mom always blamed me first. I automatically replied that I was the oldest. No, Selah said. My mom did the same to me. It's not normal. The next day, Mom asked me to pick up Trent's prescription. I had an interview for an internship but rescheduled it. At the pharmacy, they said the prescription wasn't ready. When I called Mom, she admitted she forgot to call it in. No apology. I transferred to a university 3 hours away from my sophomore year. When I told Mom, she asked who would help with the kids. 2 weeks after moving, she called at midnight because Laura had snuck out to meet friends. She claimed this never happened when I was home. I stayed at school for summer break, taking extra classes. Mom rarely called except to tell me when I disappointed Trent by missing events or when Laura was supposedly acting out because I abandoned her. Last month, I graduated with my bachelor's degree. Mom, Laura, and Trent came to the ceremony. At dinner after, Mom commented that they'd really struggled without me. Laura, now 16, rolled her eyes and defended me, saying I deserve to have my own life. Mom complained she had to do everything herself. No, you haven't, Laura said. You just found new people to blame. That night in our hotel room, Laura told me she'd been keeping a list since she was 10. Every time Mom blamed one of us unfairly. She started it after the vase incident because she felt so bad. I had forgotten which vase she meant. She reminded me it was the one she broke when she was 7, for which I got grounded. I've been watching, Laura said. Mom never takes responsibility for anything. It was always you, and now it's me. 2 days ago, I signed a lease on an apartment in another state. When I told Mom, she said Trent would be devastated. When I told Laura, she asked if I had room for her when she graduates.